Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Monday morning, if you're already in the beginning of the third quarter, how time flies, and people are already saying, Joe, what do you want for Christmas? So just let you kind of think about how we've got to get ourselves organized today because time just does keep on marching by. Today I want to visit and hit on a subject on how we should kind of learn how to read between the lines when the clients are talking to us. And what I mean by that there is that are they being sincere? Do they really want to buy, or do they just want information? Did they send the card in because they were kind of bored? So what we got to do is that you got to, in my opinion, is kind of feel them out when you're speaking with them. We've always got to go in there with the anticipation and the desire that we're going to help them to where they're going to want to buy something from us. Yet we got to kind of like make sure we go at a proper speed to where we do not make them feel that we're rushing them to take them down that yellow brick road to where we feel we're putting pressure on them to make them buy. So it's kind of like a high wire. You know what I'm saying? Is that, do I push a little harder? Or I push a little slower? What do I do with this person? How do I handle when I do a man by himself, a woman by himself, a couple? What is the exact way? A lot of it has to do with just your personal experience by just knocking on doors and visiting with people. Because what may work out for me may be totally opposite for you because of just the way I approached it, the way you approached it, maybe the way that people woke up that day. So you need to kind of be thinking about how hard do I push them. So I go to people's houses and I think, do they really want coverage? Do they really want a plan? Do they really want to buy some life insurance? You know, what is really on their mind? So basically, when you really want to find what's on somebody's mind, you need to ask them. You sent this card in. What exactly was on your mind when you filled it out? What were you wanting when you filled this card out? What information did you want me to give to you when you filled this card out? You got to kind of be a little bit straightforward with these people because if you don't, they're going to waste your time. You're going to get upset because you could have gone somewhere else. So when you go to a house, I like being a little bit politely forward and say, you sent this card in a couple days ago. What exactly was on your mind when you sent it in? You're going to hear something like this here. I do not remember. Oh, I just wanted some information. Yeah, I wanted some information on some life insurance. Is this about a pre-need program? Is this about in the event I pass away? Is this about my funeral? You got to sit and ask yourself, how do I answer that question? Do I sit and I break each one down individually? What I would sit and say is that what I'm here to do is go over all of those with you. And from there, we're going to see which one you want, which one you need, which one you qualify for, and most importantly, which one you can afford. Because just because you want something sometimes doesn't mean that you can afford it, but yet I'm an independent broker, represent 26 different companies, and I know that since I've been doing this for over 23 years, I'm going to find something that is perfect for you. What I've done is that I've incorporated how long I've been in the business for. I'm going to find something you need, something you want. I'm an independent broker. I got 26 different companies to pick from, and I'm here to help you. So you want to let them know what you're there for, what your goals are there, and now we got to find out what their goals are. You got to sit and, ask yourself, is this something that they want to buy, or is this something they just want some free information on? Are they kind of just bored? Do they actually know what they're looking for? So, again, you got to go right back to the drawing board and say, what exactly are you looking for? Even though you know they want a final expense plan, you already know they can't afford much, which is what everybody's going to tell you. Number 3, you can ask about their health questions. Now you got to find out, what are you looking for? And the most important thing is that when you're speaking to people about what they're looking for, what they want, what they need, when you ask them a direct question, you need to let them give you an answer. A question that you ask requires an answer. That does not require you to start recommending answer A, answer B, or the answer C, because what you're doing, you're helping them out. Hardest thing for us to do is not to talk when we ask them a question. We feel the more we speak, the more we talk, the more we run our mouth, the better salespeople we are, the better sales we're going to make, and people are going to buy from us. Well, to be honest with you, it's quite the opposite. It's kind of like giving them just enough information to let them think and make up a decision, letting them feel that they're in control, they're the ones that made the answer, they're the ones that came up with this answer, and you're just there. So it's kind of like sprinkling a little bit of angel dust on them to where you're taking them down that yellow brick road, you know exactly where you're going, yet you need to have them feel that they're in control. Now, there's got to be a need and there's got to be a want for somebody to take money out of their pocket and give it to you. Just because they say they need it, and just because they say they want it, those are definitely buying signals, yet that is not what you call you don't have the hook in their mouth yet. So what you need to do, you need to walk them down the road. I understand this is something you need. This is something you want. Yet, have you ever bought a program like this before? And the reason you need to find out what they've done before is that what you're trying to do, you're trying to uncover things that has happened to them in the past to where you can tell them, we won't go that way. Our programs do not work that way. I'm going to take you down this way here. Because what happens a lot of times, people buy insurance by mail and there's usually a 2-year waiting period. So they may be thinking the exact same thing as you, it's a 2-year waiting period. They don't realize that you're a licensed insurance agent in your state. You have the authority and the power to give them immediate benefits because you're going to ask them the health questions. They're going to come back with a correct answer. Either you're going to get them on the phone to do a point of sale, or you're going to get them on the internet and get them approved right then and there. Or the old-fashioned wet paper app. So you need to let them know that you do things differently. You represent a lot of different companies, and what your job there is to get them the best program for them because it's something they need and they want, and they do not want to leave their children with the burden of this sad situation when this comes. Because tell them it's much easier to make a big decision like this here when you know you have a couple dollars coming from an insurance policy. Think about it. An average funeral costs anywhere between $8,000 to $10,000 to $12,000 depending on where you live. Right now, how much money do you have in your savings account? How much money do you have in your checking account? The answer is usually going to be I have nothing or I have very little. The next question you're going to ask them is that who will be in charge of all of your stuff to be taken care of? Who will be in charge? Who will be your beneficiary? They're going to say, well, my son, my daughter, or my spouse. So you need to ask them, how much money do they have? Does your daughter have enough money to take care of this situation? God forbid something happens tomorrow. Oh, I'm not going to die tomorrow. I'm in perfect health. I said, okay. I said, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if something may happen to you in a car accident on the way to the doctor tomorrow. Who knows? My job is to come here to educate you on what could happen, let you know the information, and then from there you and I can speak about a program to where you would not have your daughter Marie or your son Frank in any type of situation like this here. Since you have very little in your checking account, your spouse, your child has very little in their account, what my job is today is to design a program for you to where you feel comfortable making these little small amounts every month. So when that day does come, everything is taken care of. Does that kind of make sense to you? Is this something that you're looking for? Is this why you sent the card in, because you wanted this type of information? Yes, yes, yes. I like to go on and I like to go into more questions with them here. Have you had any of your friends who passed away who've had no insurance? The reason you're doing this here is that you want to activate that desire button in their head. Because hopefully they're going to sit and say, yep, my cousin passed away, she had no insurance, and boy howdy, those kids went through pure hell to take care of them. I said, it's sad. And right now the reason I'm here is because you don't want to put your children or your spouse through that same ordeal. Is that correct? And you nod your head and you go, yes, it will, great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to design a plan for you to where you, when you're looking down from heaven at them, you know everything is taken care of. Because what ends up happening is that people just tell you things just, yep, yes, yes, yes. An agent called me last Thursday and said, Joe, the lady was telling me she wanted it, she needed it, she could afford it. She said she had to have it, she wanted it. She actually cut her finger and gave me a blood signature she wanted it. But then when I went in to have her say, which one do you want? She told me she wanted to think about it. Dude, what did I do wrong? And I said, well, I don't know. I said, I wasn't there with you. I said, did you happen to record yourself on your phone to where you could review what you were going through with her to see if you touched on all of the spots you're supposed to? No, Joe, I didn't think about that there. I said, okay. So my thoughts to you guys is to record yourself so when a client gives you the buying signals and for some reason you cannot close them, you need to go back and revisit how you speak with them. Not to them, how you speak with them. Not at them, with them. It's a conversation you have to have because people feel that if they're making the final decision, it's better for them. Personally, I want to give them all the information because I want them to buy it from me. Because if I sell it to them and I pressure them too hard, and now I'm selling it, and now the value is not as strong because what we do is an emotional and financial. So if I can give them all of the right words to think about, all of the right tools that we can use, and they come up with the answer, say, yep, this is what I want to do, the information Jill's given me is just right. I didn't realize that how simple this was. I didn't realize how inexpensive this is. Okay? You need to take them down the journey of the road you want to take them down based on the information they give you. I had a policy before. Do you still have it? Yes, I do. How long have you had it for? What's the name of it? Do you have the policy so I can review it? No, I have no insurance. Why have you not bought anything before? Well, I had a policy, but I canceled it. Why did you cancel it? You're not going to be as straightforward as that. You're going to say, why? You had it. Why did you cancel it? Was it too expensive? Did the bank mess up on your payments? Okay. You want to find out why, because now that why is going to help you tell them to say yes to you. You messed up. The bank messed up. Well, how long ago was that? Okay. What bank was that? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a way to where we can alleviate that there. Yet, the best way to do this here is to have the bank send the payment in. May not have been the bank's fault, okay? Could have been the agent's fault. Maybe the agent didn't write down the correct date on the application that you want your money to leave your checking account. When do you get your check in? On the 3rd of the month? Yes, I do. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to design it, and I'm going to let you see that I'm going to write down the 3rd of the month, and every month on the 3rd, the bank at no charge is going to send that money in to you. Okay? I had the policy, but it was just too expensive. And Joe, I just couldn't afford it. And how long ago was it? It was about 4 years ago. Now, 4 years ago, let's say she was 67 then, and she's now 71. The same $10,000 policy is still going to be 10 at 67. It's going to be 10 at 71. Yet her premiums are going to be higher. So don't wait to show her all the premiums and have her tell you, man, that's more expensive. What you're going to do, you're going to find out what her premiums were. And you're going to tell her, more than likely, depending on everything, the monthly amount may be higher because now you're 4 years older. The most important thing is that we get you in a program today, and whatever program we talk about, everything is locked in. Your premiums will stay level. The face amount, the 10, 12,000, whatever you feel you want, will always stay level, never go up. You'll never be able to be canceled unless you don't make the payments. You can put as many beneficiaries on the policy you want and change them as often as you want. The nice thing about our program is that your cash value grows every month. So if you need any of that money, it's growing for you. Okay? Most important thing is to pick something out you can afford And you know that whatever number that you pick out is what it's going to be locked in as of today. I bet you wish you had that policy back and forth because it's less expensive, don't you? Oh God, yes I do, Joe. Yes I do. So, well, that's important now. So we need to figure out a number that you feel comfortable with. And when you feel comfortable with this here, you're going to circle the one you want. We're going to go over everything and get you qualified today. People know what they want. People know what they need. People know what they should have. They've been told. Some people are programmed to buy insurance, yet some people cannot get it through their thick skull that they should have it today. I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I'm in perfect health. Nothing is wrong with me. I can wait another year. I've got to pay this bill here. I had to loan my grandchild this money here. They're going to come up with every single reason in their mind to postpone buying something from you, because what it is that they do not want to make a commitment to make that amount of money come out of their check every month. And the reason they can't make that commitment is because an agent as experienced as you has not walked into their house and shown them the value of why they should buy something from you. Okay? When you talk about $90 a month, that's $3 a day. When you're talking about $75 a month, that's $250 a day. When you're talking to them about a carrier that you want, and this carrier has got either a free will, a discount card, it's got whatever, you got to make your program sound as sexy as possible to where yours outshines the other ones that they've heard of. You got to ask them, have you heard about any other companies out there? Has anybody been to your house recently to go over any type of program with you? You need to take your time, because that's the only way you read between the lines, guys. Okay? If you think you're going to go in there and you're going to be the doggone principal and pop, 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 and just think you're going to be like a bulldozer and run over them, it's not going to work. You got to go in calm. You got to take your time. You need to ask qualifying questions to bring them to where you are. Think about it. There's a halfway point. They're sitting over here. You're sitting over here. There's an invisible line between you and that person that you're not aware of. You have no idea what took place at that house before you got there. You don't know if the other agent was disrespectful, pushy, didn't give them what they wanted, gave them a guaranteed issue because of their health. You have no idea. So the more information you can get from them to find out where they've been and where they want to go, you're going to slowly get them to move from their side over to your side. And the closer you get them to you, the better they're going to hear you. Because they're going to trust you. They're going to have confidence in you because of the way you're wording your words. The tone, the voice inflection that you're using, you're bringing them closer and closer and closer to you by taking your time. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. You're going to see people day after day, week after week. If you think you're going to go in and make one huge sale Monday morning and take the rest of the week off, it doesn't work that way, okay? It's a constant game. It's a challenge what we do. First of all, to get the people at home. Second of all, to get them to listen to us. Third of all, for them to actually hear, listen, and for them to sign on that dotted line. It takes time. So we have to learn how to read people's body language, read them on the answers that they're giving us. If they're giving you vague answers, are they telling you the truth? Are they giving you vague answers because they don't trust you or because they don't know the answers? So you need to go down that road to where you make them feel comfortable. This is why when I'm in a home, I don't bring a briefcase in. I don't bring nothing but a bunch of leads, or if it's an appointment that I had preset, either from an appointment setter or somebody I had visited a couple days ago and told me to come back, I bring in just that one lead, nothing else. Or if I'm knocking on doors, I have just the leads I've got. I've got no briefcase because I'm not there to sell nothing. So when you read between the lines, you've got to lower all of their doubt, all of their, this guy wants to sell something to me. He was like the other person. So when you pack light and you go into somebody's home, they're saying, he can't sell something to me because he doesn't have nothing. So I feel, from my experience, that that is going to have that person open up to me a little bit more. Does it always work? I've ridden with agents before that back up their car and they got their trunk open in the front in their living room. Okay? I got agents that got a big old book under their arm. They're standing right at the door. When the person answers, the person jumps back and they say, well, come on in. Every situation is different. Every agent, every area, every city you work in, people are different. You got to find your comfort zone. You got to find the type of questions you ask. If they're qualifying questions that extract the information from the person, and yet what may work for Ms. Jones may not work for Ms. Smith. How do you realize that? How do you find that out? Is by making mistakes after mistakes and then learning from those mistakes. I still make mistakes, guys. I still walk into a house and I think I've got that lady cornered right there. I've got her right where I want her at, and all of a sudden she just slips out from under me, and all that work I've done is just going down the drain. Because I did something maybe not right. I may have read her incorrectly. So you gotta sit and say, I'm not gonna be able to read each person perfectly. Each person I see, I'm not gonna be able to sell, and each person is not gonna buy from me. And that kills me. Because I got the best programs, the best products. I'm extremely great at what I do. I'm there to help them. I don't put pressure on them, and they should buy it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So when you get back in the car, you need to analyze yourself on what you did good when you made the sale, to where you make mental notes, to where you do those again. And then if you don't make the sale, think about all the things you did right, and the things you need to work on, and the things you say, God, I shouldn't have said that. It's a learning process. It takes time. When you're speaking to a couple, it's a little bit different speaking to a single woman. When you're speaking to a couple, it's different than speaking to a single man who's out, who wants to walk his dog, who's got the TV on. So every situation is unique, and you need to kind of just relax and take your time. So reading between the lines, to me, is trying to think, is this something that they want and they need, or is this something that they're just thinking about and they want information on? And the only way to figure that out is ask them qualifying questions. Have you had insurance before? Why do you feel this is needed? Do you have any money in savings? Who's going to be in charge of your estate when you pass away? Does she or he have any money to take care of this stuff here? So take them down that yellow brick road, gather all the information, put it all together, process it, throw it in the blender, and talk what makes sense to them. Okay, guys, that's it. Make it a great day. I appreciate your hard work. If you need me, call me. If not, get with your manager. Make it a great week. Hit them hard. Let's go out and make some money today. Bye-bye.